Hey Makai, how you doing?
Hey, I'm chilling. How you feeling?
I'm good. I'm Cassie with Lately Entertainment TV. I wanted to know, were there any essential advice 50 Cent gave you on set to help you really get in character?
I saw your background, dope as hell. But
Thank
okay,
you.
what was the question again? I'm sorry.
I was saying, was there any advice that 50 Cent gave you on set to help you really get into character?
Was there any advice 50 gave me on set to help me really get into character? Yes. There was one time we were shooting a scene. 50 watches dailies, or sometimes because he's 50 Cent, he'll just pop up on set and not tell anybody because he's 50 Cent. He can do that. It's his show. But he popped up on set one day, and we were in the middle of shooting this scene. He literally just like rolled into the take. Um, and he sat back for a little while, just watched what was happening, and he pulled me aside while we were doing the turnaround. We were actually about to go to my coverage. He pulled me aside, and he kind of just told me a story of something similar that happened when he was around that age or younger or whatever. And yeah, it just informed my decisions in the scene a little more. It gave me another place to play it from. Um, and it kind of helped me set up what I was gonna do for the rest of that episode.
Dope, dope. Love to see it. Love to see it.
No,
Congratulations on everything.
thank you so much.
So my second question is, of all of the Power seasons, I want to know which character is your favorite?
Of all of the Power seasons, which character is my favorite? Mm. Damn, there's too many. There's way too many. I see. I want to say Ghost. Like everybody was against my man's, bro. Like he wanted to go legit. His own wife ain't believe him. Then he went to his best friend and he said, "No, this is what you're good at. Stay here." I feel like I'm not. I'm also not saying that Ghost was the greatest guy himself, but um, maybe that's just coming from the guy that's also telling another perspective that not many people were really seeing at one time. But I saw somebody who wanted more, and um, again, going back to it being a story of environment, his environment and his influences weren't really, with the greatest of intentions or in the same direction he was, which in one way or another is kind of an underlying theme that happens in Raising Kanan that's dope too. I just thought about that now. That came straight off the dome. Wow, wow.
Okay, okay. My question is for Mr. Epps. First of all, got to give you compliments on the scan. Okay,
Oh, thank you.
looking good.
It's
My
just
question.
it's just a little backlight.
Oh, okay, okay. My question is: your character seems to have a familiarity with not only rock but the street life as well. What can we expect from your character as the season progresses?
That's a great question. He does, and I've said this before. Like he has a hand in everywhere. He's been there. Even though the show takes place in the '90s, Howard kind of comes from the '70s, so he's kind of like the old head in the show as it's taking place. And so he does know everybody. He knows the streets. He knows you know a piece of everything, and he's a manipulator. So he's just trying to bring it all back to his table and put food on his table in that way. And he knows Rock as well. He knows where Rock's family. He knows Kanan. Like he was there before them in that sense.
Right.
So it's like that raises the stakes. That makes it dangerous because it's like, well, what the audience will have to watch is, what does he know? That's why you got to watch the season
Right.
one, because you have to unravel that whatever that is, a relationship, associationship, acquaintance, I don't know.
All right.
Stop,
Well,
Omar. Stop. Stop. Stop.
Yeah.
thank you so much. Nice to be talking with you today, Sasha.
You too.
All right. So my question is: we all know how Kanan's story ends. So why do you think the fans and the audience is still so drawn to his story and the prequel?
I think we love the bad guys, right? We always love the villains. They draw us in a way that the good guys just don't. Because at the end of the day, the good guys are kind of boring, right? It's just we're like, okay, he's good, you know. But the bad guys, the anti-heroes, they're the ones that really grab our attention. And part of the reason why I think is because we sort of wonder how they became who they became, right? How did Kanan end up being Kanan as portrayed by 50? And so that's the fundamental question that this series aims to answer, right? We're going to go back in time and we're going to meet 50. We're going to meet Kanan and his family at age 15. And, we're going to see what brought him to the place where he became the Kanan that we know and loved in the original Power. And I think that's, I think there's that for people who've watched Power before, that's super interesting, right? Like to be able to deconstruct a character and understand, because especially, you've watched the first couple episodes, I think. And so, you see like the way he's portrayed by Mekhi Curtis, he's a sweet kid, he's got a big heart. There's so much humanity there. And by the way, I think 50 had that in his performance as well. Okay, and so we get to what's really fun and challenging about doing an origin story is you do get to deconstruct the character and sort of reimagine him. Yet at the same time, to your point, you do have, what the finish line is. So it's like, well, how are you going to run that race, man? How are you going to get to that finish line? Because we all know where the finish line is, right. But the real race is between the start and the finish. And that's what Raising Kanan is.
I'm a big fan of Power. Of course, we all are. So I have to ask this question because this is the debate amongst me and my friends. Will we see a young Tommy, Ghost, young Tasha, at least Kanan's baby mama or something like that? Give us something, Sasha.
What I will tell you is you will see the story of Kanan Stark in its entirety.
Okay.
All right. So that's what I can tell you. But yes, I understand the question, and I don't know who you're having the debate with, but just let them know it'll all be in there.
Okay, period.
All right.
Thank you. My question is for Haley. First off, let's talk about the vocals. Let's talk about the vocals. I want to know, what role did you actually having, good vocals play in you securing your role?
It's so funny that you asked that because I didn't even sing in my audition. I think they low-key hoped that, they got somebody that could sing. And then they cast me, and I remember Sasha texting me and being like, okay, so it's been a lot of fun. I'm really blessed that also Sasha allowed me to be a part of the vocal producing process. So that was really, really exciting. But yeah, I love that music is such a big part of Jukebox as a character.
The entertainment back again. My question is for Malcolm. Can you speak on some of the challenges that you faced while filming during the pandemic?
Oh, being away from family, number one. That was the hardest thing. I'm from Cali. I'm LA nigga all the way. And it's tough when you're in a situation where not only are you asked to travel across the country like London and I were asked, but then you also have responsibilities back home. It's the toughest. And it makes it even tougher when your cast is amazing. Your production is amazing. The fans are amazing. The press are amazing. And you want to enjoy it, but you're just trying your hardest to you still think about taking care of grandma, your mama, your son, like everybody, like your family. And that was the hardest part. The work was easy. The work was out. It could have been us, I don't know, moving cinder blocks every day on screen. And these people are so amazing. I would have been glad to be there. But it was the fact that I was away from family. That was the hardest thing.
Okay, thank you so much.